Hey everybody, welcome back. I am here with the Phazer again today. I uploaded a video of us riding this at the end of December, and since then I've just been getting a ton of questions, a ton of comments, and this thing's been getting a whole bunch of attention on all our social media pages. And with that, I've gotten a whole bunch of questions too. So today, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over all the questions you guys have asked, and I'm going to answer them so you know what's going on with this thing. So I think the number one most asked question or most made comment was skis and the lift on the front of the sled. And absolutely, I agree. The front of the sled needs to be up a little higher. And I did talk about this in my earlier videos, so I've already addressed that. And I talked about this ski here actually. And this ski is from a earlier M8, even up to 2015. They still use this ski. And it will give me a little bit more of a lift, but it would also be really good if I were able to build some sort of riser block in the front just to bring it up maybe 3 or 4 inches, just to get that belly pan a little further out of the snow, and as well as it'll handle impact a bunch better and will steer a whole bunch better. Not that I really expect a whole lot out of the steering as it is, but skis, yeah, I've already addressed those in an earlier video, and you can check those out in the earlier parts, maybe part 3 or 4 of the video where I had talked about that a bunch. I think the second most asked question was about the skid. Just people asking, what skid is it? What track do you have in there? And the answer is the skid is a 159 skid out of a, I believe it was a 01 or 02 or maybe 2000 Polaris vertical escape. So that's what it's out of. It's not the best design, it's not the lightest skid either, but the price was right and it was able to fit into this chassis pretty well. So with that, I also have a tunnel extension that I actually had to trim. I don't know exactly what the tunnel is off of. It's a 16-inch wide tunnel, and it doesn't look like any Skidoo tunnel I've ever seen, so it has to be a tunnel off of some sort of Yamaha. So going back to the track on this thing, is 159 by 15 by 2.0, 2.52 pitch track. It fits well with the skid, and as far as what I did with the drivers, I had a couple questions asked on that. Again, that's all covered in the earlier videos of this series. So it is down to a 7-tooth driver, 2.52 pitch driver, and I actually had to massage out the front of the tunnel, I guess what you'd call the bulkhead on this, just to accommodate for a little more room on there. So one consequence out of that, I find, is that the gearing on this thing is really low. Like even when you just snap the throttle really hard, even with this 485 engine, the skis just pop up off the ground. But once you start winding it up and get her speed, like that's all she's got. She ain't got no more. Like you know, it's clear when you're at top speed. The handlebars on this, those are Arctic Cat handlebars off a 2015 M8, but those are the same through 12 to even up to 16. Same bars. And the riser, I think that was a common one too. That is, I think it was a 10-inch riser. It was the biggest one that PowerMad had in stock for me. It's still honestly maybe just a little bit low for the sled, but it's really as big as I think I really want to go, just because this steering post on these older machines, they're not really meant to account for a whole bunch of extra leverage on it. So I really shouldn't go any higher, and I probably won't. The rear bumper, that's off a Pro Climb. It's a very sturdy bumper. It's more than just a grab handle. It makes the chassis a whole bunch more rigid, and I think that's a really good thing considering what I've done to the chassis as far as the tunnel extension and even the rear skid mount. So that bumper is actually doing more than just giving you a place to grab onto. It's actually giving you a little bit more rigidity in the tunnel, and it just works really good for this mod. The seat, that's still the same seat, the original seat from the Phazer. It's just been reupholstered, and that's why it looks so good. Weirdly enough, I had a whole bunch of questions about the engine. Now the engine is the 480, 485 engine that comes factory in these things. So I haven't done anything to the engine. I haven't done anything to the exhaust. That I've all left the same. I have done a little bit of clutching, and going back to my extreme low end torque and very low top end speed, there is a couple things I can play with in the secondary clutch, and I know that somebody has been in there, so it's not running the I guess the factory tuning. So I'm going to go into that clutch. I have a service manual for it, and I'm going to figure out where that spring on the secondary needs to be clocked to, and maybe I can get a little more top speed out of it this way. Otherwise, I've actually been thinking of dropping the drivers back out of it and pressing back on the 8-tooth drivers and seeing if I can get just a little more space to clear the front of the tunnel if I have to beat it out just a little more, and maybe going back up to those 8-tooth drivers, maybe I can just give myself just a little more torque, a little more speed. Track speed, I think, is what this thing's really lacking right now. So that's one thing I'm going to be working on in the coming months. Headlight, I just got that small LED light on it. Works fine. It doesn't need much. I mean, I'm not riding this thing at night anyway, but it does have lighting. So I think that's about it. I did add a little bit of venting on the hood, as well as I have this little snorkel tube up here on the top. I do need some sort of filter on it, because if you saw my last video, I talked a little bit about how this screen just clogs up with a little bit of snow, and your power is just robbed and you got nothing. But that's okay. This was just something temporary, just so I can see that everything is working. And now that I know that everything is working, and this is a big part of my power robbing, so once I take this screen off, I'll have a little bit more there, but it's not going to do anything for my top end speed, really. I don't plan on doing a whole bunch of performance mods to this. I just wanted it to be more like a mountain machine, and honestly, it's just been a machine that's been around for a while, and I just wanted to do something cool with it. And I'm even at the point where I'm thinking about selling it, just because I need the space. I got to move here again in a few months, and I don't know if I'll be able to take it with me, so I think it may be time to get rid of it. We'll see if we're going on that Revelstoke vintage sled ride or not. I guess in addition to that, it just needs a little more fit and finishing, but it's a functional sled now. Like, everything on it works. It does need a little bit more fine tuning, but it's there as a running and working machine now. I think that's it for this week, guys. If you haven't already, smash that like button down there, and if you haven't subscribed already, why not hit that subscribe button down there. If we get more snow here, I'll take this thing out again, but it's looking pretty slim. We just had a Chinook blow through. In the matter of 2 days, we had about a foot, and now we got nothing. So I know there's a little more snow out west toward the Rockies, a little bit further. So actually, you know what maybe we'll do is we'll take this thing out on the lake, and we'll go for a little ice fishing trip. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do in the next couple weeks. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.